Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Sharon and I do appreciate you. Today we're heading down to Mobile Bay, heading to the USS Alabama, the Mighty A. She served in World War II, multiple battle stars, and we're also going to take a peek at the USS Drum, submarine that served also. And so come on along and let's learn a little bit and have some fun together. As we roll onto the property, you see the Alabama off in the distance, all the large aircraft. You know this is going to be an exciting day. You got a B-52 bomber, a Huey gunship over there from the Vietnam era. This is going to be a spectacular day. I can't wait to get inside. All right, we're here at the Alabama, and this is the aircraft pavilion that's right outside the battleship. And it's got some really cool aircraft, some jet fighters, a World War II long-range bomber, different stuff. Very cool. So we're going to check some of this out while we're here at the Alabama as well. Our first aircraft is a Douglas AD-4 Skyraider. First prototyped and flew in 1945. Didn't see any action in World War II, but served the Navy up to 1960 in the Korean conflict. During its lifespan, there was 3,180 planes produced in various configurations for the needs of the Navy. Next, we come to one of the most famous aircrafts of World War II, the P-51 Mustang, shown here with the Tuskegee Airmen. As we move along on our tour, we find a B-25 Mitchell bomber, served in multiple theaters throughout the war, but gained its everlasting reputation after the Doolittle raids of April 1942. The A-6 Intruder first saw combat in Vietnam in the 1960s. Sharon, are you making fun of me?
Yes.
I just asked which way the submarine was.
The submarine USS Drum, SS-228, served in World War II on 14 patrols in the Pacific Ocean and is officially credited with sinking 15 Japanese ships, totaling more than 80,000 tons, for which it earned 12 battle stars. The Drum is a DAKOTA-class submarine named for the lead ship in the classification.
Wir haben zwei Gefangene, ein amerikanischer Armeepilot und ein Privat.
After being launched and passing her sea trials in May of 1941, the Drum was ordered to Pearl Harbor to pick up critical supplies that she would take over to the fighting in the Pacific Theater. Like others in its class, the Drum displaced 1,500 tons on the surface and 2,400 tons underwater. The Drum was 311 feet long and 27 feet wide at its beam. Its top speed was about 24 miles per hour on the surface and about 10 miles per hour when submerged, and was designed to operate at a depth of up to 300 feet. It was outfitted with a crew of approximately 79 men. The Drum featured 10 21-inch torpedo tubes, 6 facing forward and 4 facing aft or to the rear, and was initially armed with 1 3-inch deck gun, 2 50 caliber machine guns, and 2 30 caliber machine guns. 4 diesel engines powered 4 electrical generators, producing 5,400 horsepower for the 2 propellers. It carried more than 94,000 gallons of fuel that enabled it to travel up to 11,000 miles over 75 days, depending on conditions, and ran on batteries underwater. The DAKOTA-class submarine was a common model used by the U.S. Navy for attacking Japanese warships, but they also targeted merchant ships. The Drum and subs like her were an invaluable part of our war effort.
Okay, let's see. I think I got Kilo Charlie 4. Is it Romeo Foxtrot Alpha?
Yeah, my oldest son was that.
Sharon, the Submariner. As we come out of the building heading towards the Alabama, and we start walking around the outside, you can imagine, well, you can't imagine how big this is unless you've been there. These were massive, massive machines designed for one thing, and that was war. Check out this propeller right here, one of the old ones that was on the Alabama. What are you seeing out there, Sharon?
German U-boat! Straight ahead.
Those pesky Germans.
Nazi dogs.
Whoa, those are harsh words there, Sharon. Nazi dogs. As we walk around the deck and sit in the guns, play with the guns, do all those things that those guys back then had to do for real, you can just imagine maybe the terror that went through their minds as they saw planes shooting down on them and other ships maybe. Amazing, just simply amazing. And watch these guns up here, how big these things are. Can you imagine the noise on that deck? Oh my gosh, it's crazy to think about that's why they call them the greatest American generation, my friends. These guns that you're looking at, they're 16-inch guns. They could take a 2,700-pound round and fire it 20 miles. They used that for doing a lot of shore bombardment back in World War II. But amazingly, the firepower that was on this boat. As we enter the ship, what you're witnessing here is basically a changing of the guards. Everything on the ship runs by bell. People coming on and off, they guard everything, they watch everything. But while we're on the ship today, and on the drum as well, all the reenactors were there. And since it was raining outside, you had all the reenactors inside on the ships. The Japanese, the Germans, the Americans, everybody was there. So we got to touch and feel and look at all kind of cool stuff, and we had a lot of chats with them too. A lot of cool stuff on the Alabama, a lot of historical displays. And what you're seeing here is all the internal workings of the ship, the machine shops, the galley. This was like we know about aircraft carriers these days, this was a rolling community. What are you eating, Sharon?
Well, nothing right now. I'm starving.
I can't wait to
Get me some sausage and eggs.
Oh, we got the wait staff. They'll be over shortly. Now that we got Sharon's stomach full, let's carry on with our tour. And this is where Dwight would probably belong, right here, the brig. Not a lot of space in these cells, and I believe there was 3 cells there total. Or excuse me, 6. There was 3 on each side. But fully functional city, if you will. This is the linen area, the clothing, the laundry, the printing department, if you will. They also did photographic work here. A lot of the photographs, the aerial reconnaissance photographs from the airplanes and different things that happened on the ship were developed there. And also what we're seeing here is some recruits learning how to fold their clothes properly. I'll shut up for a minute.
Like this. You'll then fold the right hand third behind. Then fold the top.
Nice. Here we are in the head, as they call it in the Navy. Not real privacy here, folks. This is definitely not a hotel room. But there is room for everybody, that's for sure. And fire on a ship. That's a big deal. They're floating, I keep saying rolling, floating fuel dumps. The only thing you got to do with it is put it out. We learned that in fire school when I was in fire school back in the 80s. There is only one thing. It's not a containment. It's get it out. And everybody during fire activity on a boat, when there's an event, everybody had a job to do. So it's really cool to see some of the old, and some of the stuff we still use today. Here's Sharon's ice cream. Oh boy, I better be quiet.
I have a good dunk of ice cream.
Sharon, are you going to order some ice cream?
Yes.
What flavor would you like?
Just vanilla, because I'm kind of a classic kind of girl.
You are.
She
is classic. I like it.
It's a classic. You can't go wrong with that. But of course, have a little bit of chocolate and caramel sauce, whipped cream, and a cherry.
Nice. Got that, my friend? Nice, Sharon. Don't let her down. Wow. Rosie the Riveter, right? Marketing during World War II to get everybody on board, get everybody at home working towards the effort. Movies, advertisements, the war bonds. movie stars and actors putting out the word. It was a big deal. It was a whole effort back there, and it was everybody pulled together. Gardens at home so they could keep the food supply going overseas, gas rationing, all this stuff. But marketing was a big deal. Just about everything you would want if you were stationed on the ship, you could pretty much buy on the ship. So lots of things going on. We'll see here in a minute.
Batteries at 7,000 yards. The plane was shot down equidistant from the Hadley and the Evans at 3,500 yards. Another assist with the Hadley. 8:56 a.m.
The folks back home getting word on what's happening overseas. And like I said, there was a lot of historical displays, and this is all of the crew members that were on the Alabama. The storeroom full of spam. Who doesn't like spam? Hormel was approached by the U.S. government back then to create a non-perishable food product for the war. More rack space, and there was rack space all over the ship, depending on what your position was. Officers, enlisted, that sort of thing. Everybody kind of had their separate areas, like this warrant officers mess here. And as you all know, mess means place to eat. This is the 16th. These are the big guns out front. These are the shafts, if you will, the turrets that go down to the bottom of the ship, and you'll see that in a minute where they go down in there. Some cool cartoons, letters, and pictures from home. I can only imagine, that how much you would look forward to having that. These are spare 40 millimeter gun barrels for some of the guns up on the deck. So I would imagine they would get damaged. The salt from the ocean, the heat of the barrels would warp. I would imagine the metallurgy back then wasn't fantastic. So these are extra gun barrels. Now we're going down in the engine room, and I'm going to shut up for a minute and let you guys listen to how loud it may have been during maybe a battle. So let's listen to what they had to deal with. I can only imagine how scary that might have been, not knowing when that last warning hit. They're well below deck right now. Sound had to be deafening down there. Unlike, I'm sure there was no hearing protection. Wow, that would be crazy. That would be crazy. These are young kids, a lot of them young kids. First time away from home on the bottom of inside of the bottom of a battleship. Captain says we need some speed. There's Sharon touching things she shouldn't touch. I'm rubbing off on her. I think I just felt the ship move. Here we are in the electrical distribution area, I might call it. A lot of the electrical activity on the boat went through here. They also, if you will, the computers, I say that in air quotes, about when they were trying to target things, a lot of that information went through this space as well. There's one right there, right below my camera, and you could get a sense for, not like we're dealing with today, but those are kind of what they used back then to help sight and target what they're looking at. A lot of that information came in and through this combat information center and was fed up to the bridge for the captain and his staff to make decisions when they're in battle.
The combat information center was the heart of the ship.
Those are some of the shells for those 16-inch guns. Can you imagine that? 2,700 pounds, over 20 miles. Where we're heading now is towards the bottom, if you will, in the ship, deep in the bowels, where these turrets that have those 16-inch guns, those turrets right to the bottom, they're basically mounted on a turnstile down in the bottom of this ship. Again, working down in here during a battle, oh my gosh, you don't know what's going on, and oh my gosh, all you could do is wait for the guns to stop firing. I know I would be. This was such a great experience, guys. If you ever get a chance to check out the Alabama or any ship like that, amazing. Amazing, amazing. Doctor's office, dentist's office, all on board. It's totally self-contained. surgery. They could do light surgeries on board. You'll see that. They had a slight, if you will, intensive care, but a sick bay. So, yeah, if you ever get a chance to see this ship, do yourself a favor, go there, spend the afternoon. You won't regret it, that's for sure. It really gives you a sense of what we were dealing with back then. And on a side note, little selfish plug, if you like the channel, if you could subscribe, they're free. Subscribe, likes, we appreciate it. Share with your friends. Here's our radio room. All radio transmission leaving the ship, all transmission like radio stations coming in came through here. There's the infamous Tokyo Rose propagandist. And the Alabamas had multiple ships prior to this Alabama. The one we're walking through now, she's had the USS, the Alabama name has been used on many previous ships. A lot of history to that name. A lot of proud folks living in Alabama. When you talk to them, you can tell when they talk about this ship. Here we are up on the bridge. It's where the captain and his executive staff would be. Watching those guns fire, watching, what they're, if they're getting attacked by aircraft, or where their rounds are landing, maybe on shore, and getting reports back through the radio operations. Crazy amount of firepower on this ship. Could imagine a couple of these coming out in a battle group. The battle groups. This is a well secure 18-inch thick walls. This is where a lot of the command staff would be. And then you got your flagmen. How they communicated back then was through flags, and they'd all be hanging in these racks right here, and they'd be hoisted up on the cables, which you've seen a couple already in the video. Pretty cool. We're getting towards the end of the video now, so sit back and enjoy some music. And enjoy some pictures we put in here for you. All right, we appreciate you guys. Thanks for watching. If you like us, subscribe, share, give us a thumbs up. Put some comments down below. We'd really like to chat with you. If I've said something wrong, please correct me. You aficionados out there, but I've tried to do my best, Sharon and I. So have a great afternoon, and we appreciate you guys watching. Enjoy. See you next Sunday.